I've been teaching these techniques for so long that I've been doing it since the late 1900s.
I always had a good memory, and it took it to a whole nother level, and that's why I'm excited about this.
Today we are joined by two individuals who have spent decades helping people learn more effectively, remember more of what they study, and unlock their full potential. Sean has dedicated much of his career to teaching memory and learning strategies that have helped students, professionals, and lifelong learners improve how they absorb and retain information. George experienced these techniques firsthand many years ago and has carried those lessons throughout his personal and professional life ever since. Together, they actually come together to create Crazy Ways to Get A's, a platform that is designed to help students learn smarter, study more efficiently, and build skills that can benefit from far beyond the classroom. In today's conversation, we'll explore how this idea came to life, why traditional studying often falls short, and how students can develop the learning skills they were never taught in school. So, Sean and George, thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
Love to have you guys here. And so we'll start off with you. So for those that are meeting you for the first time, tell us a little bit about your background and what led you into the world of memory and learning.
Yeah, so I've been teaching memory now for quite a while around the country and really around the world. The joke has kind of become that I've been teaching these techniques for so long that I've been doing it since the late 1900s, which is true because I started back in 1999 doing this stuff. But the way that I got involved with this, the way that I wanted to improve my own memory was because of names and faces. I learned very early on that in order to build these relationships with people, you had to get them to like you, you had to get them to trust you, you had to get them to want to be your friend, and it all comes down to remembering who they are, remembering their names. But I was horrible at it. I was literally the worst person. I would meet two people. I'd meet the husband, I'd get his name, I might get to the wife, get her name, and now what happens is I forgot his name. And now I'm stressed thinking about what's his name, that I forgot her name. So again, it was one of those things that I struggled with, but I found out that it wasn't necessarily a me problem. It was kind of an everyone problem. Everyone was having the same issues. So I did something about it. I learned some techniques, created my own techniques, and I got good at it. I got really good at it. And I found that I could teach pretty much anyone. So I was traveling the country and the world and teaching this to CEOs, Fortune 500 companies, salespeople, sales organizations, customer service people, just people from all walks of life who not only wanted to become better at remembering names, but just improving their memory in general, because as people are getting older, they keep telling me, I feel my memory's getting worse. So that's kind of why I've never really done anything other than memory training before in my life, because there's such a niche, people are wanting to get better with their memory, and I know that I can help them.
Yes, I think you're absolutely hitting it on the nail. It is not a you problem. I think it's a lot of people's problem. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And so what about you, George? What was your experience like when you first met Sean? What impact did he have on your life?
Yeah, George, what impact did I have on your life?
What do we have? So in 2003, I met Sean, and he was a guest speaker at a weekly office meeting where I was working, and he came in and did his presentation, and I was wowed. It was an incredible experience, to the point where I signed up for the training, and I even tried to get into the training the next month that he was offering, but he said, you can't, it's full. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I had to wait a couple of months. I took my kids to the training. They loved it, and it was life-changing for all of us. I always had a good memory, and it took it to a whole nother level, and that's why I'm excited about this, because it has a huge impact, and I actually still use the techniques daily today.
That is so amazing. I love that this has just blossomed into this and it was from that meeting. And I also love that you actually didn't make it to that training at first, right? Because then it gave the opportunity for your kids to join you and to also learn these skills that they likely still know today. And so how amazing that you were able to bring your kids along and to give them this as well.
Very much so, and it was such a big impact. We've been, believe it or not, we've been friends for 23 years.
Crazy, crazy.
No, I love it. It is amazing, the friendship and everything. At what point, and this is a question for both of you, at what point did you both realize that these skills needed to be taught to students?
I'll go, I guess. So, yeah, for me, it was almost immediate. So as I was traveling around the country doing these classes, these courses, these workshops, I would inevitably find people like George who would see me going, "Hey, can I bring my kids with me to the class? You know, this would help them in school, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, obviously." And the funny part is a lot of the classes that I was teaching, they were going on during school time. They were going on during the day. So some of the parents would even yank their kids out of school to attend this class because it was that important. But not only that, I was getting people coming up to me after the training was done, and they would ask me, "Sean, why aren't they teaching this stuff in school? You know, I wish I would have had this when I was going to school. This would have helped me so much, saved me so much time. I would have been able to get so much more done." And at that point, it just kind of was in the back of my head always as I was doing this for professionals, which is what I've spent most of my career on, just kind of knowing that, you know what, there's a whole nother market here for students and for parents and for schools in general.
For sure. Yeah, that is very true. And what about for you? What was that? When did you realize that these skills needed to be taught to the students?
Because I'd used them daily for 23 years. What I learned, it was an opportunity to teach my children because I had used these techniques for 23 years daily, that it was an opportunity for them to utilize them moving forward, and then we could take this and teach other children the same.
Exactly. And you got to experience it firsthand because your kids did this program, right? Or he did
Right.
something similar to it. And so you saw it where how this helped them, and I'm sure that also it's like, okay, how many more students can we teach these skills to? Right? So you kind of saw it firsthand. So that's amazing. And so what do you think most parents misunderstand about why their child is struggling in school?
Well, for me. So, I think parents might be misunderstanding that they are even struggling, why they're struggling in the first place, because students struggle different ways. A student who's getting straight A's can still struggle in school, right? But their struggle is going to be a little different than somebody maybe, let's say, who are getting B's and C's. So when I was back in school, I got straight A's myself, but I still struggled with school. School did not come easy to me, and it was because of, I was involved in so many extracurricular sports. So I was involved in football during the fall, basketball in the wintertime, track in the springtime, and if we weren't playing games, or if we weren't at meets, we were practicing. And sometimes we wouldn't get home till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night before I even got to my homework, to my test. And I had 2-3 hours of studying left. It was stressful. It was exhausting. I still did it, but I just wish it was different. Wish I had more time. But also, kids nowadays, it's not that they're not motivated. It's not that they don't have the desire to get better grades. It's not that they're not smart enough. It's just that they haven't been given the right tools. They haven't been given the right skills, the right knowledge, the know-how to help them not only remember more information, but retain that information long term.
For sure. And I think one of the key things here that you said, and I think that is so important, is that just because your kid is getting straight A's doesn't mean that they are not struggling, right? And so I think that that's key. Also, if they're spending way too much of their time, either they're doing their sports and then they're spending a lot of time, or maybe don't even have enough time to study.
Yeah.
That's also very important. And so what you're saying is that they'll get that time back, right? And so they'll have more time for them to do the sports and to have less time studying. So I think
sports, band, extracurricular, socializing, just again, time to be a kid.
Yes. So
Yeah.
important. Time to be a kid.
Yeah.
That's just key. And what about for you, George? So what do you think most parents misunderstand about why their kid is struggling?
Sure. So we're all learners, whether it be children or adults, and we're taught the information, we learn it, but the key is retaining it and recalling it. So for the example, in a test, you know the information, but you just can't recall it or access it. That's why I'm excited, because we teach children a system of how to remember and recall, and it'll change their life.
I love that. It's like if they're spending so much time studying, but then the real question is, are they actually remembering what they
That is correct. It's a big
So
key.
that is it is, and so I think that this is key, and this is something that is going to be one of the tools that they're going to be able to learn. And so how can they actually remember what they just studied? So yeah, so those are very important. So thank you both for sharing that for the parents. I think it's important for them to hear from this point of view, which is a little different. So what makes Crazy Ways to Get A's different from tutoring, test prep, or other educational programs? And I'll start with you, Sean.
I mean, well, each one of these has their own place, right? So tutoring can help students who might need specialized training for a particular subject. Test prep is just that. It's helping students become better at test taking. But you know, where Crazy Ways to Get A's stands kind of above the rest here, and why we're different is that we help with every subject. Okay, it's not just math or just history or just science. You have to remember information from every subject, which is what we do. But it's also not just for tests, it's for homework, it's for day-to-day activities as well, everything that we need to get done in school. But here's the other thing is that, you know, schools haven't changed how they've done things for years, right? They tell students what to learn, they tell students what to remember, but they don't tell them the what. They don't teach them the what.
Wow.
They don't teach them the how to do it. So kids struggle with that, and that's what Crazy Ways to Get A's is it helps. It's a how-to manual for the brain. Okay, it helps students to not only learn more efficiently, more effectively, but helps them to remember more information and remember that for the long term, retain it for the long term.
For sure. It is key thing there. I mean, we both said it out loud. The how.
It's about the how.
It really is about the how.
Yeah.
And so what about for you?
It's a system to be able to follow so you can retain and recall information. And that's the key that's not taught in school. And we all wish it were taught in school before. And so that's why we're particularly excited about this.
Yes, I think everybody can agree. We wish this was taught in school, and we don't know why it is not taught in school, but I'm so glad that you both created something that now students and even their parents and adults can get information and learn these tools for themselves. So it is such a amazing thing that you both have created, and it definitely is different from all of those three things. So we're checking out. And so now let's talk to the parents. So if the parents are watching this and their child spends hours studying, okay, or they feel overwhelmed, or they struggle to retain information, what would you want them to know?
Back to me. Okay. Here's what I would say. I would say that kids, school doesn't have to take over. It doesn't have to consume the kids' lives. Okay. Kids deserve balance. They deserve time to do extracurriculars. They deserve time to be just a kid. And I think, you know, parents are struggling so much because when the kids are struggling with time, guess what? Parents are struggling with that time as well. You know, how many times have parents asked themselves or said to themselves, I wish there was more time in the day. Well, that's what this does. That gives them that time back that they didn't have. We help students to remember twice as much in half the time. So with that, how much more time are people going to have?
Exactly. I think that is key. So if you are spending way too many times either with your kid, trying to, you know, help them with their homework, or the kid is spending so much time trying to learn this information, then this is a great way to give their time back to them.
Absolutely.
So those are very important and very key things for parents that are watching this. So what about for you, George? What would you tell a parent that is watching them and they are seeing their kid spending a lot of time, many hours studying, or they're very overwhelmed? What would you tell them?
That Crazy Ways is a system to be able to get better grades, have more fun, have more confidence, and then have more free time to do the things they truly enjoy to do, because I've been through the training and I'm a 23-year alum of it, and my kids loved it and it changed our lives, and that's why we're excited about it, to help parents and to help children.
Oh, that's amazing. I think it's so important. So if you see your kid spending way too many long time studying or trying to, or feeling overwhelmed or just struggling really to retain this information, then this is just a place for them to check out. And so I know we covered a lot of information, and thank you both for sharing this. I think a lot of people have learned a lot of key points here. And I also know that they might want to learn more. So
I hope so, yeah.
Shocking.
So if they want to learn more about, more about this program, like, where can they find you?
Yes, so we have a lot of information on our social media channels, and you can find all of those on our website at crazyways.com.
Perfect. And I know that you guys also have a social media, so we'll make sure to add those links there so that you can follow us at Crazy Ways to get A's. And now, any other last minute words that you would like to just tell our viewers today?
Yeah. I keep coming back to the parents coming up to me at the end of my class saying, I wish I would have had this back when I was in school. And, it's that kind of regret. And the good news is your kids don't have to have that regret. You can get this information to them right now. And when they can start implementing this stuff immediately, it's going to make an impact not only this school year, but next school year and the school year after that, until they're out of school, when it's going to apply to their life. These aren't just school skills, they're lifelong skills. So I would just encourage parents to visit our website, crazyways.com, and go to learn more and join us. We'd love to have you.